Welcome to Flute Q&A number 43. This question is about how to memorize a piece, and I have a question for you about your experience with memorizing pieces in a sec. Okay, so my name is Cavanagh. I am a flute teacher and I love teaching people proper technique that gets them faster progress on the flute. So often it's the tweaks of how you play the flute that make playing flute easier, and it's the tweaks that you wish that you'd learned when you were, a beginner, basically, whether that was when you were a kid or when you were an adult. Sometimes people miss out on the foundational skills, and it makes playing so much easier when you learn them. That's what I teach. Okay, so the only question comes from Sam. Do you have any techniques on memorizing a piece of music? It always blows my mind when I see people play a large piece without sheet music in front of them. Okay, the first thing to say about that, Sam, is that it blows my mind too when I see someone play a really long piece. I have memorized long pieces. So, for example, the Mozart Flute Concerto, I think it was the one in D. No, maybe it was G. Anyway, I can't remember which one it was. G goes... Don't think it was that one, since I can't really remember it. It was over 10 years ago. D is... Yeah, it was that one. Considering I could play more of it than the one in G, so I memorized the one in D major, like 10, 15 years ago. But still, it blows my mind, Sam, when I see people play pieces that are less melodic than the Mozart flute concertos. There are basically 3 ways to memorize a piece. Not really 3 ways, more like 3 techniques that you can use to help you memorize a piece. Oh my gosh, I could not speak for a minute there. It's funny that you brought up this question, Sam, because the very first technique workshop inside the Flute Academy is how to memorize your pieces. It's a 20-minute workshop specifically on how to memorize pieces. A little something to point you in the right direction. Basically, there's 3 ways. So visually, orally, and finding patterns. I know people who have done things like use different color highlighters to make it visual. Personally, that hasn't worked for me. I mean, I've tried it. I'm not really I am a visual learner, but when it comes to music, I'm very oral based and patterns based especially. The biggest tip I can give you for learning to memorize a piece is to listen to it loads. Be able to sing it. If you can sing it, you are on the right path to be able to memorize it. So just be able to have it inside you, orally be able to sing it. It's just so part of you that you could sing it. Even if you can't, sing a flute concerto. Sometimes they're a bit difficult to sing, but at least if you can hear it in your head. Now, I use patterns as well, and if you can't find patterns in the music, you make patterns. For example, let's say one phrase starts on D, and then the next phrase starts on C, and then the next phrase starts on B. You make that a pattern. It's like you pick out bits where it's stepping down like that, and you're like, okay, that bit starts on D, that bit of the phrase starts on C, and the last note is a B. So it doesn't even have to be the start of a phrase. You make patterns. You find patterns, and that really, really, really helps me memorize something. The technique workshop that I mentioned, you'll actually find it, if you join the Flute Academy, you'll actually find it incredibly helpful. And it's the first technique workshop in the Flute Academy when it started a year ago in October 2021. The reason it's the first one is because it's so relevant to so many people. So you're not alone in wondering how people memorize big pieces. Now, I was just thinking about my little demonstration there of Mozart. I haven't played that for 10 or 15 years, and I feel like I did a terrible job at it. So I'm actually going to pause this video, go get the music, and play it for you properly so that you know that I can actually play the flute well. So before I do that, I might ask you the question, and then I'll go and play it for you. So the question, if you're watching this video, not just for you, Sam, I would like to know, what piece have you memorized on the flute that you are the most proud of? It could be because it's long, it could be because it's difficult, and it could be because it's the first piece that you've ever memorized. Could be something else, some other reason as well. So if you're watching this on YouTube, put in the comments below the first piece that you, sorry, not the first piece you remember, the piece that you're the most proud of memorizing. I'd be really interested to know. It's different for every different level of where you're at. So for example, I probably memorized a piece when I was a kid and it had 3 notes in it, and I would have been terribly proud of myself. But for now, it's the Mozart Flute Concerto. Okay, I'm going to pause this, go play it for you properly. Okay, I just went and found the music. I'd have to practice this for a solid couple of weeks to get the whole thing from memory again. But here's a little taster of what Flute Concerto in D, first movement, just a snippet, sounds like. So this is what I memorized 10 or 15 years ago. When was it? I think it was 2008. That was yuck. Luckily, when I played that with an orchestra back in 2008 by memory, I played it better than that. I mean, it wasn't too bad. There was a couple of squeaks and dodgy notes in there. But anyway, back to you. What is the piece that you are the most proud of memorizing? Write in the comments if you're on YouTube below. It's been great to have you in this Flute Q&A, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.